My dad disowned my sister and he is dying. How do I convince her to let him go? Backstory. My family used to be really close, but that changed in 2003 when my dad 55M discovered that my mom 54F was having an affair with John 54M, my dad's childhood best friend. He was basically his brother back then, and he was my dad's best man in his wedding with mom. He begged her to stay and work things out, but my mom ended up leaving him for John, and eventually they got a divorce, and my mom ended up marrying John 5 months later. My twin sister Sarah 27F was always the stereotypical daddy's girl. Dad spoiled her a bit more than the rest of us, and she was basically his shadow back then, and that's why it was really surprising to us that Sarah chose to stay with our mom after the divorce. Back then me 27M and her were the only ones to still live with our parents. We have other 4 brothers. I choose to stay with dad, and Sarah choose to live with mom, and in the weekends she come to stay with me and dad. I choose to stay with dad, and I occasionally went to mom's house. To say that the divorce and my sister choosing to stay with mom fucked up my dad is an understatement. He tried to act like he was okay in front of us, but every single weekday for the year following the divorce, I could hear him cry himself to sleep. After the divorce, the relationship between Sarah and dad didn't change that much. He started to spoil her a bit more than the usual, and still remained the usual, super dad. Showing up in every parent-teacher conference, ballet recital and soccer match, and being the most present dad possible. Things started to change when she suddenly changed her mind about med school. Our dad is a surgeon, and she always said that she wanted to follow his steps, but mom and John ended up pressuring her to change her career path to become a lawyer. Mom and John are both lawyers. During her studies, John started mentoring her, and they became really close. After she finished her education, he got her a job at his law firm. Onto the issue. In 2017, Sarah got married. My dad was absolutely thrilled about her wedding. He gave Sarah a blank check for her dream wedding. To be fair, he did this to all of us. He really liked weddings, but in Sarah's case, he was really excited because she is his only daughter, and I always remembered him talking about walking her down the aisle. Like every wedding that we went to, he always said to her that he couldn't wait for the day to walk down his little girl down the aisle. One day before the wedding, Sarah drops the bomb that dad and John will be walking her down the aisle together. Well, dad is the most non-confrontational person to walk on this earth, and she expected him to just suck it up. He didn't do that. They got into a huge fight. First time I see him get angry. And in the end, he didn't attend the wedding, and John ended up walking Sarah down the aisle. The fallout was massive. After the wedding, dad and his side of our family basically disowned her, and their relationship became non-existent. She tried to reach out after a while and make amends several times, but he simply didn't want to talk or hear about her. We expected him to turn around when she gave birth in 2018, but he doesn't even want to meet her kids. Earlier this year, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and unfortunately the treatment didn't work, and he is terminal. Even with that, he still doesn't want to see her again, and she doesn't understand that. I am very close to my dad, and this last few weeks are being really difficult to me. How do I convince her to let him go? TLDR. Dad disowned sister. Sister is not accepting that. Dad is now dying, still doesn't want to see her. How can I help her? Comments from OOP. She was always dad's favorite. She was the most stereotypical daddy's girl possible. They were practically joined by the hip. She was basically his shadow growing up. And she is very sweet. She is honestly a very easygoing, and well, she was everyone's little sister. My dad always wanted a girl too, but in the end she is a very likable person. Apparently it was my mom's idea and my sister accepted because John has done so much for me, which I honestly don't understand. My dad paid for her whole education. When we moved to another city to go to college, my dad spent hours talking to her on the phone every week, and he used to travel every 15 days to see us. She knew the whole story. Our parents' divorce was as civil as possible, but she knew about the whole thing. It's not like it was a family secret or anything like that. I and my older brothers told her before the wedding that this was a bad move, that she was pouring salt on dad's wound. She didn't listen. We are all very close. I am particularly close with her because, well, we are twins, shared a womb and stuff, but our older brothers love her and she loves them as well. She was always a bit spoiled by them, the privilege of being the only girl in the family. Oh, I really don't think he is possessive over her. I really don't think he judged for staying with mom. He was just sad. He doesn't get to see her more often. They were together since they were 12 and 13 years old, you know? The divorce was really rough on him. She was trying to talk to him since that day. They didn't see each other since the wedding. The thing is, if he did have a bit more time, I think he will end up forgiving her because she is really sorry, but he simply doesn't have that much time. All of my brothers understand both sides. They know how sorry she is and how much this regret is eating her alive. They know how much that whole thing hurted my dad. The thing is, if dad had more time, he would probably make amends with her, but he really doesn't, and that sucks so fucking bad. She's been trying to reach out since the wedding. The problem is she knows that she fucked up really bad, and the regret of this whole thing is eating her alive. I was talking to my BIL today, and he told me that she barely sleeps, practically doesn't eat. I really don't know what to do here. Vanilla Cookie Monster, there really isn't anything you can do. There is no way to make this less awkward or horrible for her. She made her choices years ago. Now she has to live and die with the consequences. I know you would like to make it easier, but I would just step back from this. The only statement end should be, I'm sorry, Dad still doesn't want to see you. And spend all your energy on your dad. Not on a dead relationship. I would say that by her choosing the man who took his wife and life away to walk her down the aisle, that she was the one who chose to disown her father. She needs to live with the consequences. Osiris TV absolutely. To wait a day before the wedding to drop that bomb. She knew it wasn't going to go over well. Terrible situation all around password Estacco, and to not back down? Ugh. I'll be honest, I'm baffled that she ever thought this could have gone any other way. HGWXX7, she thought the dad was a pushover. She was wrong. Now she's living with the consequences. Okay, Castor, are people glossing over the fact the daughter took her dad's money for a dream wedding and after it was spent then she tells him, oh, by the way, that dream of you walking me down the aisle, you need to share that dream with the guy that stole your wife and split up your family. That was an absolutely scumbag move. Daddy, thanks for paying for my dream wedding. I need to tell you one thing. I want you to walk me down the aisle with the guy that fucked mommy behind your back and then stole her away. Do you remember him? Your former best friend turned most hated enemy? Yeah, I want to give that man equal honor as father of the bride. I don't understand why you're upset, Daddy. Update. 6 weeks later, some people asked for an update. Unfortunately, life isn't all about happy endings. This is a sad ending. A week after I posted the original post, my dad started getting worse. His health started declining really fast. We lost him exactly 1 month ago. It wasn't pretty, I never thought it would be, but I never thought it would be that heartbreaking. He was in a lot of pain. He'd been through so much in these last months. As heartbreaking as it was to us, he deserved to rest. He was tired. In the end, he was lucid enough to say his goodbyes to me and my older brothers. Hearing him saying what he said to me was one of the most painful and beautiful moments of my life. His words to me meant a lot. I won't say exactly what he said because I believe that it's just too personal. He said goodbye to my daughters. It was just like when I was a kid. He gave them a kiss on the forehead, told them to be good girls, and said that he loved them. It was something I won't ever forget, and it hurts like hell that they're so young to understand what happened. They still ask about Grandpa, and every time I try to explain to them that he isn't coming back, they don't seem to understand that. And how can I blame them? I'm only 27 years old. I honestly don't get it. I was supposed to get a lot more years with my dad. It doesn't seem fair at all. The worst part was my twin sister Sarah. Dad died without speaking to her. I tried to talk to him about her, but he wasn't interested in speaking with her. She started getting more desperate and suddenly he died. It was expected, but she was in denial. His funeral was beautiful. A lot of people shared their stories about him. It was nice. Sarah saw Dad for the first time since the night before her wedding. She didn't recognize him. He was very skinny. Dad was always a bit overweight, the famous dad bod, but he had lost a lot of weight from cancer. She cried a lot during the whole funeral. Mom and John tried to show up at the ceremony and my uncles was forced to kick them out of the funeral. Good fucking riddance. Dad's will went as expected as it could. Dad's family came from old money, so he always had a lot of money. He left a little bit of money and properties divided equally to all his kids, including Sarah. He left a trust fund, which was a lot of money, for all his grandkids, including Sarah kids, which he never met. It was honestly expected. My dad never really cared about money that much. He just wanted us to be comfortable and assure that his grandkids all had something to support them. The tricky part was the personal things. He left a really big letter to all of us except Sarah. It was really personal stuff. In my letter, he spoke to me about our story, about my childhood. It was really nice. I must have read the letter like 100 times and I cried every single time. One of Dad's favorite hobbies was photography. He was quite an enthusiast and the subject of his photos was pretty much our family. When he and Mom were together, later it turned out to be just me and my siblings. As a result of this, we had a lot of pictures from us growing up. He gave each of us a photo album and behind each photo, he wrote something where it is taken and a few words. I was honestly very surprised with this. He must have done this long before he died. It was a very thoughtful goodbye gift, something that was very typical of Dad. Sarah didn't get a letter and her album didn't have anything wrote behind her photos, and when she found out about this she had a mental breakdown. The regret was eating her alive. She was admitted to a hospital and spent an entire week there. She is doing a bit better now, getting a little better every day. Her husband and I are really confident in her recovery. She is sleeping and eating almost normally now. She still starts to cry randomly multiple times on a daily basis, but it's getting better. At least that's what I am telling to myself. Which brings us to last week. My wife and I discovered that we are expecting again. It wasn't planned or anything like that. My wife switched birth controls last month and she spends a week without taking the pill. Is still very early in her pregnancy, so we haven't told anyone yet. The thing is that I'm really angry. I'm angry that my future kid is not going to be able to meet Dad. I'm fucking pissed, honestly. It doesn't seem fair at all. I'm angry and I'm scared. My dad was supposed to guide me in the whole parenthood process. He was teaching me a lot of us with my daughters. I'm fucking scared of doing this without him. I'm scared of not being a good father like he was to me because my kids deserve that. This is it, folks. This whole situation could be a lot better. I play the what if scenario on my head every day. Unfortunately, it doesn't change anything. This is honestly a bitter ending, doesn't seem fair at all, but that's the thing about life. It's actually never fair. I want to thank everyone who gave me advice and to everyone who reached out and offered their support in the chat. I was very lonely at that time, it meant a lot to me. Thank you, Reddit. Comments: this whole situation is sad. Canada snubs. Listen, bud, let me tell you something. Your amazing dad did his job, and he gave you whatever he could pass on to you. Best thing you can do is live according to the good things he taught you. Grab a book and start journaling all your best memories. Talk to your family members. Write down what they remember too. This is the time to do it while memories are fresh. Losing him is sad, but find happiness in also realizing that the whatever hardships he had in life are also over. Now you need to do your best to be as great a father as he was, so your children can benefit from him through the hands of the son he raised with his own 2 hands. I wish you the best in your journey forward. Screen my condolences, man. Your mom and John sound like very entitled ales judging from what you wrote in the update. To have the audacity to show up after all they did. What exactly were they thinking? Or smoking? Anyways, I believe that Sarah will be okay, but will probably not fully recover for a long time. She needs therapy. And you and your family have to focus on your own healing at the moment. Oh, and congrats on the new babies. Tell them about their grandpa one day. Hey, let's go to my ex-husband's funeral, who I never loved and cheated on SDRPS with his best friend from childhood, who he saw as a brother. Street Brown, who his wife cheated on him with. Jenning, the lack of self-awareness of the two of them is appalling. They deserved each other.